Unintended consequences, don't you just love them? No, none of us like to have unintended consequences, particularly in the arts, particularly when you're booking shows. So what's the deal here? The deal is that there are several things that have happened, that will happen, that maybe people were not quite so well aware of when this all started. I'm going to use one example, which is important, depending on which branch of the music industry you work in and what sort of musician you are. The reason I mention this is what will happen is that the customs officials will check more carefully people moving in and out in either direction. Okay, you say, that's fine, no problem. Well, yes and no. The problem is something called Cites, which is the conservation legislation regarding rare woods and species. And what will happen post-Brexit is that you're likely to be checked more often. Let's face it, before there was no real check between the UK and EU in customs, not generally speaking. As soon as you showed your EU passport in either direction, everything's cool. Well, not now. Cites means that if you have certain woods or ivory or other substances within your musical instrument, then if you're checked and you have not had it certified, you are likely in the worst situation to have your musical instrument confiscated permanently. This is not really to freak anyone out, but it is an important thing that everyone needs to know, particularly affecting orchestras, many of which, of course, already have Cites certification for their instruments. But if, for example, you're a guitarist and you have a rare wood in your guitar and it's spotted at customs, potentially you could be stopped and potentially you could have your instrument taken away from you, possibly permanently. I don't want to freak anyone out, but I want people to have the knowledge to know that this is a possibility. I know that Rosewood recently has been given a blanket okay via Cites. It's all on the net. There are some references on UK Europe Arts Work Info website. The website, by the way, is totally self-funded. I just wanted to make a difference and to make things a little easier. So that may change as time goes forward, because I'm trying to expand it as much as I can alongside the two agencies that I run. So there you go. Watch out, be careful, but there are unintended consequences. The other unintended consequence of all this is that logistically we're going to have more problems with border control. And that means it's not going to be quite so easy as it was in the past to be able to do shows quickly between countries if you're going in and out of Schengen. Frankly, when you're in Schengen, that's all the EU 27, you're going to be able to cross borders relatively easily. Very unlikely there'll be border checks, except maybe for COVID in the short term, between those countries. But it's well to know that there are unintended consequences as well. I'd welcome any comments on what I've said. And obviously, if you have any information about any other unintended consequences, feel free to contact me, as that's information we need to distribute once it's been fact-checked.